Right, let's introduce it. So this is Wedding Morning Tales. This is your guide to everything wedding mornings from the people in the know. So every Monday at 8 p.m. or just after if it takes 3 attempts, we'll be speaking to hair and makeup artists and discover all the inside tips that to make your wedding morning a success and what not to do from real life experience. So I'm Sam, for those who don't know me. I'm a wedding morning expert. I created the Fitty Prep Studios, which are a place where brides and bridesmaids get ready on the wedding morning, which is why it makes me an expert. And but less about me. Let's introduce our amazing hair and makeup artist. This is Katie Hawkins. Woo!
Hello.
So,
Hello.
what are you drinking? I need to know what you're drinking, and please say it's alcoholic. Oh, thank fuck for that. Sorry. Beep. Thank God for that.
If it wasn't, it would have needed to be by now.
You'd have to
So
go run to the kitchen to go get a glass of wine.
yeah, I did. I've done a wedding today,
Okay.
and then I've picked up my little boy, and then I've been doing work on the laptop. So I feel like I've earned my wine today.
Nice. Well, I've gone for tea. The reason I've gone for tea is because I'm giving my liver a little break. I had 4 cleans over this weekend for the studios, plus for an antenatal class at the studio, and then I went out to Cameo for an over 30s night. It was brilliant. It
A
was fun.
what? A
Yeah,
what?
over 30s.
Oh, that hurts. That in my head, I'm 24, so
Like, they didn't
that
even
hurts
ID
me.
me, Katie. They didn't even ID me. um,
That's the worst thing. No, the worst thing is when you're on the self-checkouts and the guy comes over because you're trying to buy something and
yeah.
he doesn't even flinch. He just presses the clearly over 25 button.
Oh,
Like,
God. Like over
yeah.
30, like, oh. Anyway, then I went to Becky Hill yesterday and I had a few wines. So definitely
Was that
detoxing.
good?
It was really good. Dreamland's a really good venue. For anyone who's looking for music stuff, then yeah, the Dreamland's really nice. It feels really family friendly. So it's good.
I like I like
Let's
Dreamland.
move on to wedding mornings. This is why we're here, guys. So I have an immediate question that sprung to my mind because obviously you're an award-winning hair and makeup artist. So how does that work? Does that mean you can literally do the hair and makeup for everybody in a bridal party?
Within reason and when time allows. So basically, if you think about it like some people specialize in certain
Mhm.
things, like certain photographers will specialize in documentary style,
Mhm.
or so they wouldn't be the person to ask if you wanted like picture of your car or
No.
whatever, because that's not their
Mhm.
thing. So for me, I specialize in bridal. So
Mhm.
I would not be the person to ask if you want some really amazing prosthetics or special effects makeup.
Um,
That's not my bag. That's not my bag. I can't do it.
yeah.
And I'm okay with saying that. That's not what I do. I can't do it. But what I do and what I do specialize in is bridal.
Mhm.
So it's really lovely for me to be able to create the whole look, like the hair and makeup, everything
Mhm.
together. And realistically, on a wedding
Mhm.
morning, generally, I would say my average is probably a bride and 4
By
bridesmaids, or 3
yourself.
bridesmaids and a mum, or something. That is what I
Wow.
can comfortably do by myself. Um, but if you think a ceremony is at two
Mhm.
o'clock, and if they are in a space where they're getting ready, maybe they're at the venue or they're not squished into a hotel room,
Mhm.
then actually that's really doable, because
Okay.
I might get there at like 7, 8 in the morning, and then I'm with them for their whole morning. So I'm literally with them for half their day.
Yeah.
Um, and then yeah, so that, and it really is, again, like, I mean, there's lots of different reasons why it will or will not work, but it also depends. They have a preview session, so I would know at the time of the preview session if they wanted something really elaborate. So say we were putting 2 sets of extensions in their hair,
Mhm.
or they're going for a Hollywood wave or anything like that, then obviously I know my time is going to be restricted, and then
Yeah.
I possibly am going to have to take an assistant with me to the wedding,
Mhm.
who sometimes that might be another hair and makeup artist. There are some fab girls, and I know there are some fab girls probably are going to watch this that I've worked with,
Mhm.
or it might be somebody kind of in training, someone who I've trained, or somebody who is aspiring to be a hair and makeup artist, but they're not quite there yet and they just want a little bit of experience. So they'll come along with me, and maybe they'll do the curls for me, maybe they'll prep the hair for me, prep faces, whatever is within their capabilities. And again, whatever I know that time is going to allow me to do,
Yeah.
because you can't risk it on a wedding morning.
No, that's really interesting. So is it fair to say then you like to, if you think that it's too much for just you by yourself, you like to pick who you work with, or is it down to the bride to then go, actually, I'm going to book somebody else? You know, what's your preference? Do you have a preference? Is
No,
that a thing?
that's an interesting question, because actually a lot of the people, when we're talking about like bridal business and stuff with people, that's one thing that they ask me, because there's a couple of ways that people do it. So sometimes the artist will say, I can only do 4, you will have to book somebody else.
Okay.
You know, by yourself, pick someone else and get them to turn up to do the other 3, or whatever it might be. I personally will take the booking. So say it was a bride and 7, so there's 8 people there, which is ambitious.
Yeah.
And if they're getting married, say they get married at 12 o'clock, I definitely can't do that by myself. Even if they just all went to ponytail, I still couldn't do that by myself. So I would then take the booking, and the booking would be through Katie Hawkins Bridal.
Okay.
And then I would almost like subcontract that to another artist. So I would say to another artist, can you come and work with me? I want you to do 4 bridal hairs for me. Or even on a booking like that, I might have 2 people. I might have one doing hair, one doing makeup, because a lot of people do one or the other. It's not, everybody doesn't do both.
No.
So, and not everybody is confident doing both. So often, a lot of the time, people are really confident in one, but not so confident in the other.
Nice. Well, unless they're Katie Hawkins, who's amazing at both.
Yeah, but it's taken 10 years. Like, and also that's what I also say to people, because they're like, oh, I've been doing it a year and I just don't get it. And I'm like, I've been doing it 10 years, and it's evolved. Like I started off just doing hair, and then I added in the makeup, and it takes a long time. Things don't happen overnight. Like it takes a long time. You have to really kind of practice and put the time in and put the hours in, and you will naturally like gravitate towards what you like. And for me, that was bridal. So I like bridal. I wouldn't necessarily be the best person to ask to do, I don't know, your perm, but I would be the girl to ask to do if you were getting married. So it's people shouldn't knock themselves, because people do give themselves a hard time, like, oh, she's doing this, and it doesn't matter what she's doing, because you don't know what her journey took her to get there. So just be kind to yourself.
Nice. Okay, so as a wedding professional, what's the first thing that you look for? So you've just walked into the place where someone's getting ready. What is it that you're looking for? Like, how do you know where to position yourself? What are you looking for?
So I want to be by natural light, if possible.
Makeup.
I want to be by plug socket, because I have hair tools, but I also use an airbrush machine for makeup. I look at the chairs. Is this going to be comfortable for my client, but also is this going to be comfortable for me bending over? Like, am I going to be bent over to do makeup, or have they got a makeup chair at the venue? What else do I look at? Yeah, they're probably my top 3, I would say, my top 3. And surface, actually, because I need space. Like, I've got a lot of stuff and I like to spread it out so that I don't have to, I can work out of a bag, but it's not ideal. And if you were literally curating the perfect morning, I want a space where I can put all my stuff out, and then I can work, and that can be my station.
Nice. I guess it's that bending down thing. I don't think maybe brides kind of realise that actually, as a makeup artist, your back must be absolutely in pieces, because like if you're constantly bending down to get your makeup, to actually paint the face and stuff like that, like that's a killer, right? So it is quite important to have that kind of stuff at a place, I guess, so then you have an easier life. You can go, oh my god, I can actually stand up and paint the face rather than bend down. So I guess it's something people might take for granted.
And it makes a big difference, because if you think, like, as a makeup artist, you might be stood there for 6 hours and your stream of clients is constant. You don't get to kind of sit down and rest between each one. You're just doing it, and you don't realize when it's happening, because you're just getting on with it. You're just doing your job. Now you're on the clock, like you're just carrying on. But actually, it's then when you stop, or when you get in your car, or when you get into bed that night, you're like, oh, that was hard. Like that was a killer, like my back or whatever. And it seems silly, but even like wearing shoes that you're comfortable in. Now you might be comfortable in high heels, or you might be comfortable in trainers, whatever, but you have to be something that you're comfortable in, because you are on your feet for a long time, even though it goes in a flash.
Yeah. Okay, so for a tip for other stylists, wear Crocs.
No, don't wear Crocs. No,
Okay, so
no.
God,
Let's back up. Back up. No, no, no. Back up. Do not wear Crocs. No, I know some people like Crocs, and there's actually one of the hairdressers I follow on Instagram, and she's super cool. She wears bright purple Crocs.
like I'd make it a styling choice. I'd be like, guys, I'm rocking Crocs, and like, do you even get pins for them and everything? I'd have little wedding
Oh yeah,
rings and.
I've got garden Crocs, and they are super comfy. So I'm not, they are super comfy, but I'm just not quite there that I could look back at someone's wedding photos and see myself in Crocs. I'm just not there yet.
You'd have to edit it out. You have to speak to the photographer and like pay him just to put stilettos on you or something.
They have enough to deal with when they have to try and edit out my concentration face, which looks something like this. So
some people say concentration face. Some people call it a resting face.
It's tragic. Whatever it is, it's tragic.
It's not. It's lovely. You're beautiful. Okay, right. Next question. Are you ready? So when do you arrive at a wedding morning? So, I mean, do you arrive before the bride, or do you try to, or do you arrive after, or when would you normally arrive on the morning?
It depends, really. It depends on a couple of things. It depends on the venue I'm going to. Am I familiar with the venue? Lauren Mummery just said the double chin. Yeah, I do that. That's my face, Lauren. That's my face. It depends. So sometimes I like to be there first and I like to get set up. If I know that I am on a schedule and I'm like, okay, I need them to listen to me, I need them in my chair, I've got to keep this moving because I know we're tight for time, maybe, or she wants to be ready an hour earlier because she wants photos or whatever, I will do my best to keep to her timeline. So sometimes I like to be there early and I like to set up. Sometimes if they're turning up to a venue and they've kind of got to get sorted and someone's in room 104 and someone's on level 3, like, to get everyone together takes a little bit of time. So I don't necessarily need to be there at 8 a.m. if I don't intend to start until 8:30. You know, I can come and then I can be ready to go. My kit is condensed to a point. I've still got way too much stuff, but it's condensed to a point that I could literally turn up, put my bag on the side, plug in my tools, and I'm ready. Like, I'm off.
No.
Go. So, not.
You refined that art. I like it. Cool. So I guess in summary, then, if people are ready to go, so you're in a place which is easy to access, that kind of thing, you're ready to go, you're early, you're ready to go. If, however, it's a bit more of a higgledy-piggledy, maybe there's not quite a routine set for the morning, then you'll be like, right, tell me when you need me.
Yeah, I don't think there's a right or wrong, because sometimes people might like to get to a venue, or they might like to go somewhere and they might say, actually, the doors, like, we can get in at 8. So we want to get in, we want to bring all the stuff in out the car. I don't need to watch them do that. Like, so I might say, okay, well, if you're going to do that, I'm in no rush. So I'll come down at 9. Like, they're all sat there and they're ready, they're waiting, they've had a cup of tea, they've had some breakfast, like, and it's a bit more chill. But literally that is time dependent and totally depends on the circumstance of the morning.
Like, I've had that happen a lot at the Pretty Prep studios, where somebody says, oh, our makeup artist isn't coming for an hour, we wanted to just get ourselves together. And actually, I really like that. Maybe that's a wedding morning tip. Like, as long as your wedding morning doesn't start too early, maybe you consider getting there maybe a half hour, maybe an hour early, so you can have that cup of tea, you can have that, oh my God, it's my wedding day moment. So then when actually your hair or makeup professional does arrive, you can just get straight into the chair, right? Like, it's probably more efficient.
So at the Pretty Prep, what time do they come in? What time do you open the door for them, or can they come in whenever they like?
There's a key box, so literally I give them the key code like a few days before, so whenever they want to get in, they literally boop, 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 get the key, go in. So yeah, easy.
So for example, if I had said to them, oh, I'm going to start at 8, they might have been there from 6, and that's fine, because they're chilled out on the sofas, they've got robes on, they've got change, they've got their drinks laid out, they've got a bit organised. Yeah, I think that's probably actually a really good idea, because then it means that we're not all kind of bundling in together like, oh, what do you need? Oh, I'm just going to get this, I'm just going to do this.
It's less panic, less hectic. Yeah, there you go. There's your tip, guys. There's your first tip. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about skincare, because obviously you are a makeup artist as well. So lots of people wonder, well, I think they panic like a week before the wedding, go, oh, my skin, I've got a breakout, I must do this whole amazing thing with I don't know, pills or something. What do you have a recommendation? Do you speak to your brides and say, actually, this is what you should do leading up to your wedding?
Yeah, so we kind of, to a point. Obviously, I'm not a beauty therapist. I'm not a skincare specialist. You know, you can go, and some brides do. You can go and have your skin analysed, and you can find out what it needs, and then you can start a regime to like get your tip-top skin for your wedding day, which is amazing, as long as you start it 6 months before the wedding. Because what I hear a lot is ladies come and they say, oh, we're going to go here and we're going to stay at this spa hotel and I'm going to get a facial 2 days before my wedding. And I'm like, no, don't do that. Because the point of a facial, what people don't always realise, is it draws out all the toxins. It brings out all the bad stuff out your skin to make it glowing and make it healthy. There is no way you want that to happen the day or two before your wedding, because your spots will come out, you know, any blocked pores are going to come out. Like it's too little too late at that point. So what I do recommend is that you start a skincare plan if you haven't already got one, but also what you do, like you cleanse, you tone, you moisturize. It's important that you carry on doing that. If it works for you, you don't need to change it. Just because you're a bride, you don't think, well, so and so had a skin peel, so maybe I have to have one. If you don't need one, you don't have to do that. But what is important is that you do what you know will work best for your skin. Maybe you have got some skin issues and you've got 9 months to go before your wedding. You think, okay, I'm going to go and visit a dermatologist who can tell me that actually a course of skin peels is going to be really beneficial for me, and I'll start that now, so that actually with 3 months to go to my wedding, I've got the best skin I've ever had.
Nice.
That's great to do that. But otherwise, like, and people will say, oh, what should I do with my skin, like on the morning before you get there? You just follow your normal skincare routine to the point of moisturizer. And maybe everybody is different. Maybe different makeup artists say different things. I personally say to people, you follow your normal skincare routine to the point of moisturizer, just as you always do. You use the same products you always do. You don't skip your moisturizer, even if you've got really oily skin, because that's another thing that people say, oh, my skin's really oily, so I'm not going to use any moisturizer. But that's the opposite effect, because your skin needs that moisture, and when that moisture doesn't hit, your skin goes, oh, I need to overproduce to make up for the fact that there's no moisture now. So even if you've got oily skin, you still need to moisturize. It's still important to do that. And then when I turn up, maybe if you have got, I don't know, a dry patch, or you have had a breakout or anything, then I can deal with that, and I will select what primer product I want to use. I might use an extra additional moisturizer if it's really dry. I might cleanse. I might use some kind of tonic or something, but it literally is dependent on the person that's sat in front of me in the chair.
Okay, so in short, you'll fix any like wedding day problems, but otherwise stick to your normal routine unless you're being super prepared. Then, you know, maybe like 6 to 9 months beforehand, yes, speak to a professional person who knows about skin, probably called a dermatologist, and they will help you, but don't make any rash decisions a few weeks before your wedding. Fabulous.
Definitely.
So there's some brides out there who actually was like me. For my wedding 12 years ago, I didn't actually have a makeup artist. I feel like I'm swearing at you. I went into Debenhams when there was a Debenhams in Ashford, and I went to the benefit counter, and I just got like, because I wouldn't normally have bought benefit, it's just a bit too far out of my price range. So I bought loads of benefit stuff, and I was like, well, at least I can wear it, you know, a few like weeks after, that kind of thing. I regret it. I do regret it. Yes, I had some lovely products, but it still doesn't know what I didn't know, that I needed more blusher to get it in the photos and stuff like this. But anyway, my question to you, if there are some brides out there who are considering doing their own makeup, have you got like a go-to product that you really recommend?
Oh, there's a few. It depends on what your thing is. So for some people, it's their eyebrows. You know, their eyebrows are their thing. They like them done in a certain way. They like them done with a certain product or whatever. For a lot of brides, it's actually lashes is the thing. And that is a big change to somebody, is to put a lash on. So people don't generally wear lashes every day typically. I know a lot of people do, and they have individual lashes or lash extensions, but generally most brides that I see don't wear them every single day. So
Mhm.
that makes a really big difference to somebody when you put that lash on, when you've done their face and you put that lash on. That's what kind of makes the transformation for them, and it photographs beautifully when you've got lovely lashes, especially if you don't feel like you've got lovely lashes already. Then by putting those on, it just gives that little bit extra.
Nice. So do you always apply lashes? Is it something you recommend? Well, I guess it's the trial. Somebody might say they'll like it. But if you do, do you
Yeah,
use individual strip?
depends on the person, depends on their eye shape, depends if they tell me they've never wore lashes before. um and it also depends on the look we're going to create. If somebody came and sat in front of me and said, I'm really glam, I really want a really full lash, and I want it to be kind of old Hollywood
Mhm.
style, and I want it to be really full and really thick, I would probably go for a full lash, and I would use a strip
Mhm.
lash, like a wispy strip lash or something.
Mhm.
And people worry about strip lashes because they're like, oh, you're going to see them, and you, because we
Yeah.
have trauma from like being 12 where we tried to stick them
And
on,
it's like this.
then yeah, and then you blink and it goes off. Like, yeah, that's not the case anymore. Like you can apply a strip lash. They're very beautiful now. It doesn't even look like there's a seam to it. So
Hmm.
that's one option. I also have individual lashes, which are great if somebody wants a little bit more of a natural look, but they just want a little bit extra. So they might want a little bit of extra length or a little bit of extra fullness, maybe just to kind of bring out the sides or shape their eyes out. So then I might use individual lashes. But I tell you what else are really good, actually. Well, I don't apply to people, but personally, haven't got them on at the moment. But I have used, I think, it's Tatty lashes or
Patty
Lola's
lashes.
lashes,
Patty
the
lashes.
ones that go
Yeah.
underneath, the ones that you stick underneath. And I think they're brilliant. And they last for, they say they last a week. I
No.
would argue they last like 4 or 5 days
Hmm.
looking okay. But they're brilliant and very cost effective.
Yeah.
And so if a bride wanted to do something herself to maybe try out before a preview or before the wedding day, do not try it on the wedding morning. Let me be very clear. Like, the wedding morning is not the time to try.
Messing with
But
your eyes on your wedding
yeah,
morning.
yeah, don't.
No.
But before that, definitely that's a really good one to try, because actually that's they're really nice.
So yeah, so in summary then, so if you're doing your own makeup, maybe have a look at Tatty Lashes. I actually saw them at an event I was had at work, and we went to the Excel and they was exhibiting there. And they've got like wedding ones and everything, haven't they? They've literally got
Yeah,
bridal lashes. So
they've
it's the
got like a cool brand. They've got a cool like marketing. Their whole thing is very like very on point, like very on brand and stuff. You can recognize the brand. And they're really nice, and they do different ones. And that's the thing with
Mhm.
strip lashes as well. You can buy kind of different lengths. You can
Mhm.
buy different thicknesses. So yeah, that would be a good option, and that would probably be the easiest
Yeah.
option for somebody who was doing their own makeup, to have a strip
Mhm.
lash, practice with it, take it off, pop it back in the box. You can clean off any glue residue, and then you can use it again.
Yeah.
So you can keep practicing until you're sure that you've nailed it. Also, what you can do is you could have a makeup lesson. If you're
Mhm.
going, like some brides going abroad for their wedding and they're not flying their makeup artist out, then maybe they might want to go to Benefit like you
Mhm.
did, or go to, wherever, buy their products and learn how to use them themselves. So you can definitely do that as well. That would be a good option.
Katie, do you do makeup lessons, one-to-one lessons?
Oh, I do.
Tell me
Funny you
more.
ask Yeah, I do. Often, like, I get a lot of like maybe pre-teens, like where mum says, I want
Oh.
her to learn how to use makeup properly, and I want
Mhm.
her to learn how to use real makeup properly.
Mhm.
But also people that are getting married abroad, so
No.
they will come and they will have a lesson. I always offer, maybe they would like to fly me to their exotic destination, but budget doesn't always allow, sadly. But yeah, failing that, yeah, or even just like a gift voucher for mum, or
No.
even like a gift voucher for your partner, because then she can get glammed up to go out.
Mhm.
Because it's seen as almost a bit indulgent. Like, we don't do that every time we go out. We don't pay for a hair and makeup
Yeah.
artist, and that's why it's so special to do it for a wedding day, because it's not the everyday norm.
Yeah, absolutely. So if anybody would like some masterclasses, then drop Katie a message and she'll let you know her availability. Right, now this is here's a question.
Go on.
Have you had any bad experiences on a wedding morning which we can help tell people and get like learn from? Like definitely no criticism, and we're here, we love, we support, but is there anything that you've seen that you think maybe we shouldn't do this on our wedding morning?
I always think it's really odd when people message the bride and ask her for directions or where to park or stuff. The bride should just turn her phone off or give it to the bridesmaid to deal with. Because I always think, why are people asking you? I wouldn't ring a bride on her wedding morning and say, hi, oh, where should we park when we get there? What time do we need to be there? I always think that's a bit bizarre that people don't,
That is,
that people think that's okay to do that. But I would say probably I have seen on a wedding morning, I have seen a bridesmaid in her dress jump over a bed, like running around, being a bit silly, and split her dress, split the seam on her dress. Yes.
Run and jump over. Hurdle a bed. Wedding tip.
Right.
Please don't hurdle a bed.
Don't get ready anywhere with a bed because it's dangerous. But I would say personally, the one thing that I've come up against is that I once had a bride who so basically when on my booking system they get sent an email and it says this is where I'm coming to, tick the box, and they tick the box, it comes back to me and it says yes Katie, this is where they're going to, and then 2 days before their wedding they get another one and says hi, I'll see you at this location, just tick to make sure it's correct, just because I have to be super sure where I'm going. And the bride had done that and she had ticked the box the first time and she had ticked the box the second time, and then when I got there on the wedding day I knocked on the door, this woman didn't know who I was and she was like, no wedding here. So I phoned and they went, oh, she must have given you the wrong postcode. Here's the right postcode. It's an hour away.
No.
Yes.
No.
At which point, technically, I've done my job. I've turned up to the location that I was paid to go to.
Yeah.
At the time I was paid to be there, and there's nobody there for me, which is not on me because I've got her to tick it off twice. I didn't just copy it down incorrectly or anything like that.
God.
But anyway, obviously it was a wedding morning, so what did I do? I got in my car, I drove that hour super fast and got there and got them all ready because that's what, because it's our wedding day, and it's not the time to have the conversation of why did you tick the box. Like she just needs to be ready. She just needs to be ready.
You just need to be like, I'm saving it, I'm here, don't worry, I know you messed up, but don't worry, I've got you. I've got you. And that, and so that's probably the one thing I would say to people. Just check, obviously if they're coming to a location like the pre-prep studios or something, that's nice and easy because it's a destination in itself. Like our suppliers know where you are, we know where we're coming to. The hardest decision then is going to be which one are we going to, Ashford, Canterbury or Tunbridge. Like we're going to know kind of where we're heading. I hope she gave a 5-star review. No, she didn't, Sarah. Actually, she was with me. No. Did you get the blame somehow for not being psychic?
I absolutely did. Yes.
No.
It's okay though. I just took it because the issue obviously wasn't me. Like I feel like she was projecting. The issue wasn't me because I feel, as hopefully Sarah feels, the only really acceptable answer for that was, wow, thank you so much for putting yourself out and doing it anyway, even though I got it wrong. What a silly mistake. I've been a bit stressed all week. It's a big week, pre-wedding. Sorry about that. Let's get on. But no, sadly, was not her response.
But we know as professionals, you went the extra mile there. You went somewhere on time. It wasn't the right place because she gave you the wrong details. You then literally went out of your way by a whole hour to go to the next place, and you still got them ready at the right time. So no, you're an absolute hero there, Katie. Absolute bloody hero. I'm sorry that happened to you.
But I think as well, like with a lot of things, sometimes brides, like circumstances, weddings are stressful. And for us as suppliers, we do this every weekend and we do it more than once a week sometimes, and we just get up, we just do it and we love it and we enjoy it and it's okay. But for every single wedding we go to, that's that one person's one day.
Yeah.
So we have to just remember that you don't know what it took them to get there, and you don't know what this process has been for them. And maybe they need a little bit of help, or they need a little bit of support, or maybe they're just having a bit of a hard time with it, or maybe the anxiety is just kicking in, and you just don't know, do you? You just don't know what people are going through and where they're at and stuff. So you just have to do what you need to do and think, right, okay, I'm happy that I've done the best I can do in that situation. Anything else is irrelevant.
Well, you did. It sounds like you absolutely did that. So I've come to a point in the live. It's time for our top tips from our followers. From my Instagram, I asked my previous brides and suppliers if they have any handy tips that we can help people out with. So I've got one here from Makeup by Shani. Hi, Shani, if you're on the live still. I think I saw you pop on. She said, put your straps down on your bra for the morning so there's no bra lines. Genius, right? Like, you know about socks. Everybody knows about socks. Like, everyone knows to take your socks off so you don't have like the horrible sock lines. But bras I didn't even think of.
Bras are a good one, especially if you've got a strapless dress.
Like, and if you've got big old ones as well, you're going to have all the like proper lines and stuff. So no, that's literally genius. Shani, thank you. Really great tip. And I've got one here who's Holly. She used the Pretty Prep Studios a few weeks ago for her wedding. So hi, Holly. Thanks for still following me. I'm not going, thank God for that. I'm unfollowing her now. She said, go for a wee before you get your dress on.
Your nervous wee. Yes, nervous wee. Go and do your nervous wee.
I'm just, for me, when somebody says that, I'm like, she didn't go for a wee, did she? She didn't do that.
She learned the hard way. She learned the hard way.
Out of her dress, or did she try with the dress? Like, there's so many questions I want answering from this.
But I've heard that if you've got a big dress, you're supposed to lift it and go onto the toilet
frontwards. Yeah. I did that with my wedding dress. It's still, you still don't touch in the floor, so you still have to have somebody in the cubicle with you, like holding up the back. Okay. But yeah,
Laura just said hairband on your wrist. Yes. Yes. Take your hairband.
I once had a photo shoot with a hairband on my wrist, and the photographer told me to take it off, so I put it in my pocket. Did it look like I had a huge nipple?
Oh no!
Photos. It was the worst thing. Don't put it in your pocket.
Left it on your wrist.
I should have. It was awful. Okay, perfect. So, right, we're going to tie this one up now, ladies. So, if you had, let's maximum 3 top tips. What are they for wedding mornings? What are your best ones?
I would say, my best top tips for a wedding morning would be think about food, because often people don't think about food, and it's a long morning and you're probably not going to eat till 4 or 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that's breakfast and lunch you're missing. Even if you think, I'm going to be too anxious, I'm not going to eat, you can get the most beautiful like grazing boards. There's a lady I think locally, oh my Graze.
Oh my Graze. Shout out to Shelby. Oh my Graze, guys.
Yeah, she has beautiful, and she delivers them to you, so you've got no excuse. You don't even have to do anything. Some people go and like get a meal deal on the way or something. But just take the stress out. Yeah, just take the stress out. Get someone like Shelby to come in, do you a beautiful platter, because then you can just pick at it all throughout the morning. There's enough for everybody. That's really nice. So that would be my one tip. My second tip would be to bag everything up. So often on a wedding morning, you get into a room or a venue or wherever, and everyone's stuff just explodes, like mine included. but everything just goes everywhere. You know, there's flip-flops over there, and there's knickers over there, and you know, if everybody has like a bag, or I actually saw one bride, very organised bride, do it with boxes, like plastic boxes. And every bridesmaid had a plastic box with their name on. And so every time they took something off or took off their bra, it went in the box. Or and actually, so when it comes to tidying up for the photographer to come in and take the pictures, there wasn't that like last minute, oh my God, it's such a mess, someone move the bin, someone do this. We just moved boxes out the way. So that was really clever. I really liked that one. I thought that was really good.
Can I have a little smug moment there? A little I've got boxes at all my studios.
You have. course
at Ashford, in the dining area, there's like the Ottoman boxes. So basically, everyone can just dump their stuff in, like exactly what you said. Dump their stuff in, and
yes.
then literally just work from their box. And in
I remember
Canterbury and
this.
Tunbridge,
I remember dumping something in the box at a shoot we had there, and I remember putting it in the box to hide it.
yeah,
Yeah, great, brilliant idea. And that's why the Pretty Prep Studios is such a good concept, because the brides don't have to think about this stuff, because you've already thought about it for them. So they don't need to think, is there light? Is there plug sockets? Is there this? Does it look pretty? Is the backdrop nice when I put my dress on? Like, they don't need to think about any of that, because somebody already thought about it for them. They just got to turn up and enjoy it.
thank you. I'm not very good at taking compliments. I'm like, oh, I don't know where to look. Oh. Okay, so we've got food, we've got put your stuff together somewhere out of view, and your last tip.
Make time for the things that are important to you. So often I have seen, like on a wedding morning, maybe the bride has, I don't know, delayed a little bit, so she's like stopped to get the kids dressed, or something like that, and she really wanted to do that reveal to her dad, but the photographer's like, there isn't really time, so I'm going to go, and you know, and then she's like, oh, okay, yeah, because that's a professional telling her basically you can't have that now.
Yeah.
But actually, you can have whatever you want, because it's your wedding day and nothing happens until you get there. So I'm not saying be ridiculously late or ridiculously diva-ish or anything like that. But if there are things that are really important to you, like having those photos with your kids before you leave, or, you know, or having the photos with the girls before you get dressed, and putting on your, people have like personalised robes and stuff, don't they? Like,
oh, shout out to Olive Lane with that. Olive Lane is a place to go for your dressing gowns and little pajamas and all that kind of stuff. Sorry.
I love them. I love them. I think that's so nice, because not only do they look good, but actually they're really practical, because people can get in and out of them very easily. They don't mess up their hair. They don't mess up their makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they're really good, and they make really cute photos as well. So that's a really good one. Yeah.
So
but yeah, I would say make time for your moments, what matters to you. For some people, it doesn't matter. They don't want the camera out. They don't want anything. They don't want a photo. They don't care whether they have Prosecco on the morning or not. Like, but for a lot of people, that does matter. And I think it's important that they know that you are absolutely allowed to say, like, often people will say to me, the venue, and someone will come in and say, oh, we're dressing the venue and this looks like this, and what do you think? And they're sat there and they're like, yeah, like trying to imagine it. I'm like, just go look. Like, just go look. Like, I've done a schedule that is not to the minute. Like, I've always allowed time at the end anyway. I'm never like cutting it to the wire. I know that they've got 5 minutes. Go and have a look. Like, that's a nice experience. You want to have a nice time.
And you can relax after knowing that it's perfect as well, I guess. Like, you're not going to be like, oh, I don't know if I wanted that there. You're going to just,
yeah. And it's okay to just say to me, or to say to any of your vendors, like, actually, I just want a minute, or can I just give my bridesmaids their presents, or, you know, can I just sit down and have a drink with my friend, because actually she's come over and I haven't seen her for ages. That's fine. Like, it's your dad. You can do whatever you like, and then it's our job as the professionals to make that work and to encompass that into our mornings. You don't have to worry about the time, because we're watching it, and you don't have to worry about what you should or shouldn't be doing, because we'll tell you. And I guess it's just having that trust in somebody. But a lot of ladies find that quite reassuring, and they think, oh, it's good that you know what's going on. It's good that you know what time that I should go and have my nervous wee, or, you know, whatever it is. And people like that, like as well. Like, you know, people would like being at the studios, because they know you've done silly things like the boxes, like you've done it, you've thought of it, you've catered to it. So it's an added bonus.
So they know that if they've booked the right suppliers and you've had your trial and you've built that kind of trust, like, you know, you're in safe hands, and actually we're just here to help and support you, you know, just make your day perfect, whatever that looks like. And whenever you want to do something, like, yeah, of course we'll help you, because it's your wedding day. Like, yes, you can do XYZ, of course you can.
Definitely, exactly. Anything is possible. You can have whatever you want. We can make happen whatever you want. We just have to figure out how to do it. Like, that's all it is. We just need to think about the logistics, how we're going to make this happen for you, because we're gonna make it work. So don't stress.
Nice. I think that's a really nice note to leave it. So we have come to the end of the Wedding Morning Tales. If you found this live useful, please let us know in the comments, because last week we got about 1,000 views over TikTok and Instagram. And I'm like, okay, this is good. Yeah. And Laura
Wow.
got a booking from it, which was really
Oh,
nice.
well done, Laura. Oh, I love Laura. Shout
Laura,
out to Laura. Yeah. If you want braids, Laura is your girl.
Versatile by
100%.
Laura,
Yeah.
at Versatile by _ Laura, and she makes
Yeah.
it earrings. Hair and makeup, Katie, you're very good. Like, I feel like your natural kind of elegant is kind of like what I've seen you do quite a lot when I've seen your hair and makeup. Do you think that's fair to say? Obviously, you can do anything, but I feel like you're very good at like elegant, natural, or glam. You're very good at
Yeah,
everything.
no, I'd say you were right. I would say my bridal style for people is kind of natural, elegant, and a little
Mm,
bit undone. I have a lot of requests for like I don't really get booked so much for like slick,
Polly.
tight, very polished chic updos. Yes, I could do them, but the majority of my brides come to me because they've seen styles that are undone, and they look a bit more
Mm,
intricate, and it's just you on a really good day, like you, and you can look in the mirror and be like, yes, I actually look really pretty today, and this is how I want it to look as a bride.
And you can make that happen, Katie, because you're
I can make
amazing.
that happen.
Well, fabulous. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, everybody. Sorry about the
Thanks for
technical
having
issues beforehand, but this has been Wedding Morning Tales. So cheers to a perfect wedding morning.
me.